Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of MC Eternal. Nobody panics, I just enderpearled and died. How are you guys doing today? How's life? This episode we were supposed to work on generating RF as well as getting into wireless energy, but it has been brought to my attention that Minecolonies is in the pack. So we're going to start our own city. It's going to be awesome. And the reason that we are going to start this early on is because that Minecolonies have NPCs which will provide us with resources such as lumberjack, miner, farmer, and etc. So I was hoping that if we get into this soon, then I will know what resources I need to automate and what resources I can leave it to our new NPCs. But before doing that, I was hoping that we would be able to get into botany a little bit, because Minecolonies requires a lot of clearing out the ground and terraforming, and I was hoping if we get the Rod of the Shifting Crust as well as the Horn of the Wild, I don't have to do that much manual work. Oh, I needed to use the shears. Sorry. Yeah, much better. 1 petal apothecary, and we're going to have 2 pure daisies. And we're going to start making living wood and living rock. I have been traveling around in order to find some mystical flowers, and I should probably eat before I kill myself again. And I have not been very successful. We just take normal flowers. It's such a manly job, gathering flowers. So which are the ones we want? We want brown, we want light gray or gray, and we want red. We play with Botania in every single mod pack, and I'm going to try and go through this really fast so that hopefully I do not bore you to death. We're going to start by endoflames. We take our living rock and our living wood, and obviously plant more. Mana spreader and 1 mana pool. Also, if I did not make any weird boo-boos, this should be our setup. So we do have our mana spreader, our mana pool, a golden pressure plate, a redstone torch, a dropper, an open crate. And if we drop 1 coal here, this should go automatically. I hope. Yeah. Also, we are not extremely rich on coal, so we should make charcoal. And I was hoping to be able to make a furnace from mystical agriculture, because they should be more efficient. So Inferium furnace is 15% more efficient, and we should be able to make it. Good. Prudentium seems to be 35% more efficient, but I do not think we can go higher than that, because the rest are expensive. I can convert these back. No, we can't afford it. It's actually decently fast. I'm surprised. You know, this is the mistake that I always do. Mana spreader should be 1 block away from the redstone torch. Otherwise it will be deactivated. Did I say torch? I meant the pressure plate. Seriously? 1 mana pearl and 1 runic altar. We have our basic setup and we are generating a bit of mana, and all I have to do is to craft some ruins. I'll do that, then I'll be right back. We were not extremely rich, but I did manage to make a few trinkets. We have the Sojourner Sash, which obviously gives us step assist and we can run faster. It's actually really good in this mod pack because I can run away. And we can also jump 2 blocks, which is good. I made the Benevolent Charm and no more creeper holes. And obviously we have the Horn of the Wild. I'll just let them despawn, because there's plenty around the world. I don't need that many. And of course I also made the Rod of the Seas, which places a water source. I made the Rod of the Shifting Crust, which we can swap blocks. And I also made the Rod of the Depths, which will put cobblestone. Also, I have noticed that I have completed 95 quests, and I haven't claimed most of them. So let me claim everything, and I will put all the rewards in a crate so that I would be able to show you. I claimed most of the rewards, and most of them were relevant to mystical agriculture, applied energistics, a little bit into immersive engineering, and also Botania as well as Thaumcraft. Also a little bit in introduction. And these are all the rewards. Nothing too fancy. Actually, the crate is mine. Also, we have almost 4,500 coins, but I think we're going to keep it in order to buy something from the black market, because these are cool. Also, there is something that I wanted to talk to you about before we get into Minecolonies, and I forgot to do that in the last episode, so before I forget, let's do this. There is a skill book, and apparently I can choose a skill. I don't know which one to choose. I personally prefer warrior because it's all around combat class. The rest, I have no idea what they do. So if you have any ideas which one is better, let me know. You know, I personally think we should transition from eating rice to having rat burgers. They are yummy. There is an augment for redstone furnace which will double the output of food. We are getting flour from nuclear craft which we can use in order to make bread. And if we put it inside this redstone furnace, it will double the output, which is really good. The worst part of Thaumcraft in this mod pack is that you cannot put items in the inventory using the JEI. I wanted to make 2 bee generators. That's it. For the moment we're going to set it up here because it's right next to our farm. Later on we will have a permanent place for it. And I made the V generators so that we can provide them with power. They are not great, but they will make like 10 RF per tick, which is not that bad. Now that we have decent, delicious food, let's start with Minecolonies. I don't remember everything about Minecolonies, but I do remember that we are going to need a building tool, and we're also going to need either a supply camp or a supply ship. A supply ship is very difficult to place in water, so we're going to go with a supply camp. And I'm the new mayor. Nice. I don't know where the center of our colony is going to be. The thing is, that's a vampire forest, and I don't want our citizens to be eaten. But this is the only flat land that we have, so maybe we do it here. I think for the moment we're going to try if it fits here. So this is going to be the shape of the building, but we need to remove all the grass. And this is why I made the Horn of the Wild. I would like to mention that this is a hologram. It's not built yet. So I think we can just build it now. Do you have a problem? Without grass. And it should be flat. I think this is flat. Let's try it again. So can we just put it here? No, you have to come a little bit to the right. Like so. Now it should be fine. Yep, I think we should be able to just make it. Aha! And just by the way, everything here is for free. And this is going to give us a town hall and a building tool. This was extra. Sorry. If I was not clear enough, you are going to need the supply wagon in order to get a town hall, and the town hall is the center of your city. So we're going to put it down here, and yes, use the build tool, and we should be able to move back. Yeah, this is the first tier one, and you can also change the different levels here, and I would recommend that you look at the highest tier one to see how big the building is going to eventually be, and this is a tier 5. Looks nice, but we can also change the theme, so it can be birch. Sure. Medieval dark oak. How does it look like? Nice. That's actually nice. Medieval dark oak alternative. Doesn't look that different. Nordic. Huh. Actually, I think we're going to go with this one. This is wooden. And we're going to bring it back to level 1 so that it's something that we can afford. Yes, new colonists shall arrive. One day. Our first settler has arrived! Yes, Mr. Badbee. He is going to be our builder, but technically we need to sleep very fast, because I don't want to lose him. The thing is, after the supply wagon, which is for free, the rest we have to build and provide resources. But we're not going to build it ourselves, a builder is going to do that for us. And I'm just going to put it here. So if it's a tier 5, it will be this big. And this is the boundary of the town hall, and we want 3 space gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I would say this is a decent distance. So let's get it back to tier 1 and build it. Here. I was going to say now we need to start hiring someone, but someone was already hired. It's fine, actually he will do. So he is going to require a bunch of stuff in order to start building. We first need to have the builder's hut, and these are all the requirements. So let me get that. And I'll be right back. I think I almost gave him everything he's going to need in order to make the building, except dirt. So if you want to give him something in order to build, you have to go to the inventory and put it inside. So can you build it for me? You're going to need tools. I need a shovel to continue working. Okay, there you go. That's your shovel. You know, actually, I'm sure that he's going to need a bunch of stuff. So we are going to give him an axe and a pickaxe. And he's working for us. He finally finished the building. Yes! Thank you. Now we actually want him to start working on the town hall. So, you are going to need a bunch of stuff. Oh my goodness. No, he actually started working. Nice. If you're like me and you always forget what they are going to need, you can make a clipboard. And if you shift right click on the town hall, it should be set to that. And then whenever you're far away, you will know what your citizens are going to need. I was removing the wagon and then I noticed something very interesting. 3 blocks of gold. And the reason that I removed the wagon is because that we're going to make a lumberjack, so that I don't have to harvest wood. We're going to put you here. And he's off to work. Perfect. Our lumberjack tier 1 is now complete, and we do have a lumberjack, and she's being like suffocated. But she's going to require some axes, and we put them inside and she should go to work. You work. The way our lumberjack is going to work is that she's going to go around, and then she's going to harvest any tree that she will find. We can also specify which type of trees we want her to harvest, but for now I'm just planting some and she will harvest these. Once they are harvested, she will also plant a sapling. That scared me. Also, if it's not obvious that what we are trying to do, we're trying to actually automate the production of some resources using NPCs, because they will do the job. I actually forgot to mention the most important thing. The central block is your inventory, so it acts like a chest, so you can import and export items from it, using a conduit or filters or whatever. We need to start working on expanding our village. Our villagers are going to require a place to sleep, therefore we're going to make them huts, and also a place to eat. Therefore we're going to make a restaurant. And I just don't know where to build it. Yeah, I think for the moment we're going to make a house here, because that's the town center. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that whenever a building is finished, we would be able to switch the blocks and make it the way that we want it to. Unfortunately, right now I'm not gonna do that, because I want them to be tier 5. And then start decorating stuff. It might look like that he's doing all the job and I'm standing here doing nothing. Sometimes I help him by clearing out the ground, and also he requires a lot of stuff in order to make a building. I have to provide every single item that you see here. Torches, door, cobblestone, I don't know, stairs, pressure plate, fence, everything. So it's a full-time job. Our village has also gone through a huge amount of change, and I will try to explain to you what I did, because it was incredibly boring and tedious, and I could not make it entertaining. Are you a monkey? Anyhow, once you make the town hall, you will get 4 villagers. They're going to need jobs, they're going to need food, and they're going to need a place to sleep. The person who makes every building in the village is called the builder, and you need to upgrade his hut constantly, because he cannot upgrade the rest of the buildings if his house is a lower tier. So if this is a tier 2 builder, he cannot make a tier 3 house. Houses are also very important, and this is a tier 3 house, and you can check it here because we have 3 villagers who live together, and they need a place to sleep, otherwise they will get grumpy. And your village has to be happy. This is also a tier 4 lumberjack's hut, and it's incredibly efficient. Look, she has been very busy and I'm very happy with her. This is a tier 3 hut and it can house 3 villagers. This is a tier 1 hut and it can house the extra villager that we have. So all of them have a place to sleep and they are no longer grumpy, which is good. And this is our restaurant. You can teach him recipes to cook and prepare stuff and distribute food for the others, but I have not done that yet because I have been lazy. Also, I did not upgrade this hut to tier 2 or 3 because once you get more than 4 villagers, then bandits will attack, and we're not ready to defend ourselves. Another building that I made over here far away from the village is the mine, and well, it mines. And I don't know why it has a door, because you can just walk in. There's a door, but you can walk out without using the door. So I'm confused. And she has a problem. You need oak slab. Okay. You see? That's the problem you always have with them. Anyway, she has been busy mining, but she's not being very efficient. She mainly gives us cobblestone. It's like a quarry, but very slower. And she actually digs. Look. There are a ton more buildings that we can make in this village in order to make it self-sufficient. For instance, we can have a farmer and a bakery so that automatically they will produce their own food and I don't have to bring it for them. But those are the things that we will do in the future episodes. For today, this is enough. I almost died. I kill myself more often than monsters kill me. From ender pearls. I wanted to eat. You know, now that my grave is like 100 meters away, it gives me an enchanted key. I was going to try and say that the village is not just for looks. Definitely not for looks, but it can also be functional. For instance, we're trying to make food here. We can make food in the restaurant and I can go grab food over there. And you know, there could be further automations, but I don't know if that's something that you want to watch. So let me know. Let's get back to the main task at hand, which is generating RF. In this mod pack, several mods which are very convenient for generating RF are gated. For instance, in order to get into mechanism, I have to go to the beneath. I can make a rush for it because it just needs a nether star, but Let's play along. We're going to use Dynamos, and specifically we're going to use a Numismatic Dynamo. A Numismatic Dynamo will consume coins and it will give you RF, but we're not going to use coins. We're going to make a special augment and then we're going to feed it Prismarine. Here, it will give us 150,000 RF per Prismarine. You might also notice that gems from Biomes of Plenty give you 200,000 RF and diamonds give you 1.2. But the thing is, since we're going to use garden cloches and mystical agriculture in order to make all of these, it makes much more sense to get Prismarine shards, because these require only 3 essences. A diamond is super expensive. Look, we're going to start by making a Solium Dagger, and we're also going to try and give it some enchantments. For instance, looting, mending, and sharpness. And we're doing that in order to get the mob chunks. If we use a Solium Dagger, we will get chunks. And it helps if it does more damage. Of course, it does not really matter which kind of chunks you get, as long as you get some chunks, you're fine. We're going to need a tier 3 seed, so it's going to require tier 3 chunks. And luckily, we have 1 spider which is tier 3 and 3 skeletons. And we can just cook them, and that gives you a tier 3 chunk. There is always something that we're going to need, and I forget. We're gonna need fish. Okay, we can do this. That's fine. And of course we're also going to need some Prismarine, but you're out of charge. Nice. I think we have enough. Yeah. We should be able to make 4 Guardian chunks. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the source of our power. Also, we should remember that AgriCraft is in the pack, and I was thinking that we should be able to duplicate this seed. So I made a seed analyzer. We're going to analyze this seed and we see if the garden cloche accepts it. I actually have 2 garden cloches here which are making these. It's very difficult to find Certus quartz, so I was like, yeah, I'll try that. It seems to accept. Oh yeah, okay, it does work. I'm not complaining. So we can make a hardened watering can. The next one requires phytogrow, and we don't have that yet. So I'm going to try and grow some flowers in the morning, obviously. We have done this in Project Ozone, so you guys already know how it's going to work. We're going to have a guardian seed in the center, and hopefully it will grow. And Lush the farmer is going to help him. Okay, let me get a few seeds, set up a small area, and then I'll bring you back. Thermal expansion gives you a tool called the multimeter, and this will tell you how much RF is within your network. I want to know how much RF a garden cloche is consuming, so that I will know how many generators I'm going to need. So if you right click on a flux duct, it will tell you that on average it's -47. It's actually not that bad, because the ME is also draining power. We just cut it for 1 second. So 1 garden cloche is 8 RF per tick? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, both of them are running and we have -60 RF per tick. Alright guys, it's been quite a while later and we have made some progress. This is going to be our guardian farm. We have 12 garden cloches, each of them has a guardian seed and is hooked up to an ender chest which gets the guardian essence. The 12 garden cloches are actually hooked up to thermoelectric generators and therefore they are independent from our main power source. So if something goes wrong, these can continue working. I was sleeping, okay. The ender chest for the guardian essence is hooked up to a crafter from RF Tools, which makes us Prismarine shards. And then we are going to install the dynamos. We're incredibly poor, so this is all I could afford. Only 4 of them. And what we're going to try and do is to try and make a tower of dynamos. For now we have 4, but imagine this will be like 16 blocks high. And the idea is we're gonna upgrade them and put the augment inside. Later on, I'm hoping that I will use cryo-stabilized flux duct to make this look cool, but for now we're using Ender IO conduits, and they are super expensive, so I could only afford like 8 of them. Yeah, actually 8 was not enough, because they kind of have to meet in the center, and that was not gonna happen with 8. So we need to keep them and make more of them later on. Anyway, now we need to think about a way of transferring RF wirelessly. At first I was going to try and use Spectre coils in order to transfer RF wirelessly, but then I noticed that flux networks are in the pack. So we might do that. So apparently the recipe for getting this flux has changed. You're going to need to put an obsidian here, and then you're going to drop redstone on bedrock, and left click. Weird. I know what you're thinking, Lash. Is this your plan of generating RF? Because this is like 800. No, of course not. We're going to go bigger than this, but the problem is someone screwed up the ore generation in this mod pack and I cannot get enough silver or nickel. So we need to start getting into mystical agriculture before I can start upgrading this, which we're going to do in this episode. So I have made 2 Inferium seeds tier 3 and we're going to start crafting some seeds so that I don't have to look for ores, because mining is not paying off at all. We had enough essence in order to make 6 extra seeds. We already had Certus and Fluix, but now we have glowstone, redstone, copper, nickel, silver and coal. I also wanted to make iron, but it requires supremium, which is weird because here it says tier 3 and this is tier 5. So I'm very confused. And of course, instead of depositing all the essence in our ME system, we have a crafter from RF Tools, which makes the raw material and then puts it in our ME system. Progress with the Dynamos is not going so well because you need so much silver. You need silver for Signalum, you need silver in order to make Electrum, you need silver in order to make the augments for the Dynamos. So it's pretty slow. But these guys are reinforced and they make 400 RF per tick each of them, and these guys are hardened and they make 200 RF each. So this setup is generating 2400 RF for us for the moment, and of course I'm going to expand on this, and this can keep up easily. Alright guys, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. I will try to gather more resources in between the episodes so that next episode we would be able to expand on our RF generation and hopefully get into auto crafting. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.